Sean Don coming at you with a meet recap. That's right, I had my season opener this weekend, so stay tuned and we'll talk about it, I guess. So this is going to be a very not high production video, literally just kind of throwing this together, giving you guys an idea of what I did this weekend when I went and competed, had my season opener, and also it's kind of for me to help myself work through it a little bit. As you guys know, I like to do that, talk through what I was thinking and feeling and how I'm going to adjust my course from here on out for the rest of the season. So let's get into it. Basically, where I'm at in training, I'm on program 7 of the 2022 season. Competed during week 3. I'm currently throwing the 16-pound hammer and the 10K hammer. The 16-pound is more of like a competition prep thing where I take a couple winds and then literally 1 or 2 warm-up throws and then get right into slanging the 16-pound hammer, and then doing more training with the 10K, doing some no-wind 6 turns and a higher volume there. And then in the weight room, I was focused on building strength. Actually, the day before I competed, I did a season's best weight room session where I hit 105% of my clean high pull season best. I did 180 kilos, and then I did 190 kilos for a double on back squat, which was, I believe that was 100% of my current season best, or previous season best now at this point. But really wasn't that tuned into throwing far at this meet. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to literally just get back in the saddle, get back on the horse, and go and compete and kind of knock the rust off and kind of work through some nerves and stuff that I've had built up over the past 6 months or so since trials, because it's been so long since I've competed since then. Literally just needed to get out there and do it. So this meet was at technically Orange Coast College up in like Irvine, Costa Mesa. It was about an hour north of San Diego. So I drove up there Saturday morning, woke up at 4:30 a.m., didn't get a lot of sleep after a day of heavy lifting. Was a little bit fatigued, a little bit tired on the drive up, not quite the most recovered. It was a very small, low-key meet. It was just myself and my training partner, Justin Stafford, kind of getting our feet wet a little bit and getting used to competing again before we hit some bigger name meets over the next few weeks. As you guys know, I've been dealing with some competition anxiety lately, and by lately I mean last time I competed, which was 8 months ago at this point at the Olympic trials. Basically, I think that I need to compete more this season to get more used to competing and getting used to the feelings, both mentally and emotionally, that I feel in competition, but also physically how things change compared to training. Because in training I can have really dialed in, technically consistent throws, but then I go to a meet and for some reason it all falls by the wayside. And I've been working with a sports psychologist and working through most of these things, and I have a pretty good strategy moving forwards, but I still need to get out there and do the thing and get used to feeling the things I'm going to feel in competition. So the goal is to compete much more frequently this year for me, because after COVID and such a long time off, I felt like I kind of forgot how to compete. So this year the plan is to compete more often and remember how to compete, develop a new mindset, a new approach towards competing, so that way when it comes to bigger meets, I'm a little bit more rock solid than I was last year, where I didn't really feel comfortable at all in really almost any meet that I went to. So different approach this season, and this was kind of step 1. But yeah, warm-ups for the meet did go pretty well. Like I said, I was a bit fatigued, my legs were a little tired, and my back was a little bit tired from previous day's heavy lift, and also the drive up the morning of. It wasn't terribly fatigued though, so like I could have thrown a little bit farther than I think I did on the day. But either way, warm-ups felt pretty good, and I was feeling relatively stable, focusing on my cues that I'd been focused on for the previous week, where things were feeling relatively consistent, as I had already said. I had no idea how far they were going because there were only lines out to 50 meters. Anything after that looked really far. I literally said to my coach while I was warming up, I could either be throwing 65 meters right now or 75 meters. Like, there's no way to tell for sure because there were just no lines out there, and anything looked really far that was over 50 meters. So feelings were good in warm up, and that's what matters. Like, I was starting to get more acquainted with throwing in front of more people and kind of relaxing and just settling into competition. Throw 1 though, a lot of emotions came kind of flooding back, like, okay, just go get a mark and that's all you need to do, and then you're good for 5 more throws. But I still had a bit of anxiety, I'd say a good bit of anxiety and emotions kind of surrounding me, thinking about like a flashback to trials, like, all right, how was I feeling? It was kind of like PTSD, kind of working through the trauma with that first throw. So I took it easy, focused on the same cues I was thinking about in warm-ups, thinking about kind of getting the ball out away from me, spiraling the hands a little bit, and just feeling the ball and trying to feel the ground and stay grounded, and executed that okay. I was still, you could tell if you look at the video, I was very hesitant, kind of trying to place the ball into the sector rather than actually throw it. out into the sector, which is why you can see in 3 and 4, I'm not quite kind of countering back like I need to. And like I said, just very, very hesitant on this first throw, but I did get a mark on my first throw, which is an improvement from trial. So I'm really happy about that. As for throw 2, of course, I mark my first throw and I'm thinking like, oh man, I can relax a little bit now. This is nice. I'm going to have 5 more throws. Naturally, the instinct is to think, man, I got a mark, I got 5 more throws. Might as well just fucking send it, eh? Well, it's not really the best mindset to take, but that's what I did because I was just so excited to be competing. I was excited to be at a track meet again for the first time in so long. So I thought, I'm just going to go. I'm going to grip and rip, baby, and send it. And of course, totally forgot about all of my technical cues and just went in there with pure intensity, pure fire. It was, once again, kind of a flashback to trials where I kind of let the ball get a little too in, got a little tight, and then ended up shanking it on sector. But it's all good. Like I said, it was a very low pressure meet, so I kind of was able to make these mistakes and learn from them, which is going to help me moving forward. So throw 2 was not very good. Throw 3, I realized like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have gone so hard so fast after taking literally one easy throw to start. And so I dialed it back a little bit, focused more on my technical cues again, feeling the ball out, feeling the ball spiral around the left. And this time took it a little bit too easy and kind of got pulled forward a little bit, let the posture go, kind of spun out on 3 and 4 is what I'd call it, ended up shanking it out of sector the other way, which was new for me. Regardless, each throw I got better. I settled in more and more, and it was actually pretty nice to have that opportunity to kind of settle into a competition and relax. Like I said, it's been so long since I have been able to do that, and this was a good practice at doing so. Throw 4, like I said, in throw 3, I did feel myself getting pulled forward, kind of hips back out from underneath me, and my chest was forward a little bit. So throw 4, I thought, let's just focus on being really good about being postured up, chest up, kind of torso perfectly upright, over the hips underneath, tucked underneath towards the hammer. And from there, things got immediately better. I had more consistent tension from the hammer. I could feel the ground better. Just the connection was better all around. And I finally got through a throw and felt like I actually threw the hammer. It was a little tight and a little choppy, and it was definitely far from a perfect throw, but it was good enough, and I got through it, and it was finally I could breathe. I finally did the thing. I finally threw the hammer in competition, actually threw it. And like I said, I had no idea how far things were going, and based on how fatigued I was from the previous day, I was like, that could have been 70 meters or it could have been 75 meters. Not the best mark, but I was happy to do that. After that, I just kind of chilled out a little bit. Throw 5, I thought about more of the same, better posture, and then feeling more consistent tension and connection from the hammer. And then from there, it was much better, much more reactive, much more patient, connected, all the things that you want to feel in a good hammer throw. And I still just wasn't quite ready for the speed of the release because, like I said, I was a little bit fatigued. So I let go, kind of shoved it out into the sector, and then turned around and fell forward just a little bit. I literally think my toe stepped on the ring by a centimeter, no joke. It was so close. It is what it is. But that throw ended up feeling much better and much more reactive, and that was a throw where I was like, oh man, that was close. And then throw 6, I had a better idea of what I wanted to do technically, which was focus on posture, focus on connection, maybe spiral the hands a little bit. But then I'm still, throw 6, dude, let's get after it. Let's grip and rip, baby. And of course, same sort of thing as throw 2. I just tried to absolutely sauce it out there and got a little tight. And like I said, ball got a little in on me and shanked it just a little left, and it landed on the track. But hey, it's all good. Not the best execution in terms of competition, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was to just get on the horse. And I did that. And it didn't go terribly, I'd say. It didn't go quite up to what I think my expectations would be, but it was good enough for what I've been doing lately and based on how my last competition went. So post-meet feelings and thoughts. To open up my season as a professional hammer thrower with a personal best of 79.27 meters and only throw 71 meters was very disappointing. I like to consider myself a certain level of athlete. To not achieve anything near that level is definitely humbling, but I think that's kind of been the general theme of my career over the past 3 or 4 years is that I need to be a little bit more humble. So that's a thing that I'm trying to work on and work through and realize hey, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy doing what I love around friends and family and other people who want to support me. It's really cool. And to have a level of gratitude for everything that I do and everyone around me is kind of more important than the results and the things that come from competitions and how far I throw and stuff like that. So that's kind of my mindset moving forward a little bit more. And then otherwise, like I said, I wasn't prepared to throw far. Based on my results that I've had all program throwing the 16, my average has kind of been around 69 to 70 meters. So on the rare occasion I've thrown out of over over 72, 73, 74. It was very consistent with how things have been going in training. Like I wasn't going in there thinking I was going to go smack a 78-meter throw. That'd be ridiculous. But it would have been nice to hit that 74-meter throw or maybe set a small season best, training or competition aside. Throwing the 10K and 16 together in a program is not the best for feelings and for rhythm for the 16. This is also what I did leading into trials, so it's very similar feelings where I just couldn't really feel the 16 that well. But I'm learning how to manage that a little bit better, and the purpose of doing this now is so that later on I can feel the 16 better when I'm just throwing the 16. So it's all part of the plan. Some people would be like, oh, he's making the same mistake he made last year. I'm not. It's a totally different time. I'm not going to throw the 10K and 16 going into USA's or World Championships. That'd be dumb. And I learned my lesson there. So, okay, I'm not gonna do that again. Like I said, the big thing that kind of came about as a result of this competition is, yeah, I need to focus on my posture a little bit more when I'm training, because I think I have the tendency when the ball is going faster or when I'm throwing at higher intensities, I have the tendency to get pulled forward, chest comes down, and I lose that tension from the ball. And from there, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to salvage it, which usually results in me pulling the left side too hard and sector fouling. So if you go back and look at my throws from trials, that's almost exactly what happens. I'm very leaned forward, chest is down, hips aren't underneath me, and like just, it's not good. It's not good, and this is kind of a repeat of that, but it was good to work through it and figure it out. And I feel like I've said that a lot lately because that's what I've been doing. I've just been trying to learn as much as I can and figure out how to make things not suck as much as they have in the past. So that's the consistent cycle of progress, I suppose. Yeah, outside of that, I know I'm headed down the right path. I just need to walk my path righteously. If you saw my most recent Instagram post, a thing that I've been thinking about lately is being here for the journey. You know, being present every single step that you take, just embracing it. All the missteps and failures, opportunities to learn, embracing every single bit of it with a smile on your face. And that's kind of what I've been going after, and I've been feeling pretty good about most things revolving hammer throwing right now, which is a thing I couldn't say 6, 8, 10, 12 months ago. Feeling good about where I'm headed. Give another 2-3 months, come USA's, come World Championships, like I think I'll be rounded out into good shape and we'll see what happens. The focus for me right now is to just be humble, to be grateful, to appreciate everyone and everything around me, and that's kind of where I'm at. That being said, I appreciate every single one of you out there watching this video who supported me, who always sends me well wishes and good luck messages and, you know, like good jobs and keep at it and all that stuff. I really appreciate you guys because you don't have to go out of your way to do that, and the fact that you do, it means a lot to me, especially as I'm kind of in this limbo of my competitive career where I was on this steady climb up and now I've taken a little hit. And to still have your support is, it means the world to me. So thank you guys. Hopefully this gives you guys a better insight into where my head was at with this competition this past weekend. Next weekend, actually, in a few days here, at the end of this week while I'm filming this video, I'll be competing again up in Eugene, Oregon at the Hayward Premier at good old University of Oregon. So getting back into the ring that broke my heart last summer. So kind of facing that fear. Meet recap after that, hopefully. We shall see. Feeling much more confident about that meet compared to this past meet, now that I've finally shaken the rust off a little bit. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, remember, grip and rip, brothers. Sean Don, signing off.